Coach Mike Tomlin preaches to the non-starters to keep a next man up mentality, as injuries are part of the game. For offensive lineman B.J. Finney, he's proven that he can carry his weight in a call-up situation. With Ramon Foster out with an injury, Finney has an opportunity to prove he's more than a fill-in. So BJ, you're obviously hoping for a quick recovery for Ramon, but what's your mentality like preparing as a starter?
For me, it's just another day on the job. When a guy goes down, I got to be able to jump in and plug and play, is what they say. It's just another day, just same routine. Doesn't change my mentality at all. We just want to get Ramon healthy and back to us.
Do you feel more prepared now because you've been through this before, or is every situation different?
I think it's a bit of both. Yes, I'm prepared for this. Obviously I have more experience underneath me playing this position and being in this position. And then, there's always unique circumstances to every situation, so you gotta have a little bit of both in your approach.
Ramon himself, like you, was undrafted, and as a clear leader on this team, what have you learned from Ramon?
A lot. Main thing is patience and, just being in the moment. Because I'd get super anxious and super wound up, and he'd come over and calm me down and just be like, "Hey, breathe. We've done this before. It's just football." And then little assignments of knowing different guys that he's played against for years and being able to fill me in on details. It's made a world of difference in performance.
What was your first start like, and how much confidence have you built since then?
My first start, it was a lot of adrenaline. Not very much remembering in the beginning. Because I was so wound up and so excited because we were playing against Kansas City. So it was a fun little rivalry there with the family. And just from then to now, it's I'm worlds apart in terms of experience, being able to play different guys differently and having that knowledge passed down from Coach Munchak and the older vets. I've come a long way.
Actually, both games you've filled in for Ramon have been against Kansas City, and that really hits home for you.
It does. Like I said, my entire family pretty much is Kansas City fans, and so it just makes it a little bit more, have a little more angst and a little bit more oomph to the situation, and not being able to live it down around the holidays. So it's a lot of fun.
What's it like going up against one of the best in the business in Cam Hayward?
It's awesome, to be honest. I know it doesn't look so pretty on film, being in my circumstance, and I don't like it when he's beating me, but it's really great work for me. And like you said, he's one of the best in the business, so if I'm working against him, then I'll be able to work against almost anybody in the league. And he's real strong, big, powerful, tall guy, so that's really good for me to work against.
This is your fourth camp now. What are you doing to help some of the younger guys become acclimated in this environment?
Same thing that the older vets did with me, is just making sure that they're calm, that they know their assignments, and that they realize that this is just football. Everybody, your kid, your dream is playing in the NFL, and you get here and you're so excited, you're so wound up, and your brain's just going a million miles an hour, and it's just like, hey, you got to slow it down, play football, know your assignments, get on the details of it, and everything will work out.
What would you say are some of your best qualities on the field?
Smart, tough, hard-nosed guy. I know I'm not the best athlete in the world, so obviously that's where the smart comes in. Stuck with me at a young age, where my grandpa said the hardest opponent to beat is a smart opponent. And that just kind of registered with me. So knowing that where I can take angles away from the defenders to the ball carrier or the quarterback, and putting myself in those positions is what I take pride upon. And then just being the tough part, being an offensive lineman, you have to be tough to play the game in that position, especially in this crew. We take pride in that as well, and it's a big staple in our game.
What has Coach Munchak taught you?
A lot. Like I said, I'm not the best athlete on the field, and Munchak and I are of similar builds, and so he's been bestowing upon me a lot of the ways that he played the game that helped him out, just in little footwork techniques and hand placement amongst things, and knowing that when the technique is on, that you're going to be very hard to beat. And that's one thing that I've taken a lot of pride in, is learning from him and the older guys, is the technique will win a lot of battles.
What's it like to play on such an experienced line?
For me, calming. As a young guy coming in, and you're like I said, your mind's going a million miles an hour, and when you have seasoned veterans beside you saying, hey, calm down, and talking through everything and make sure you're on your assignments. It's awesome to play and plug and play, and just be able to go out and dominate, like with those guys. The older guys take care of the young guys, and it's been an awesome thing so far.
Do you always feel like you have something to prove being a walk-on and then undrafted rookie free agent? Do you always feel like there's something left to prove?
I always have a chip on my shoulder if that's what you're asking, but that's everybody on the field, because the second you relax and decide that, okay, I don't have to prove anything, that's when the guy behind you closes the gap and jumps over you. And so you always have something to prove and always something to work upon no matter who you are.
Anyone ever talk of the night practice? You hearing the teammates talk of it, you know, kind of things coming up as a change of pace type deal? Where you practice at the high school?
Oh, no, they say it's basically the same. I feel like with the fans, the intensity now is still is high, and I'm pretty sure with the night practice, with the lights coming on, it probably raise it a little bit more.
Let's go under the lights at the high school.
Yeah.
Do you like that practice? Do you like that opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we get to kind of have like a game simulated, you know, environment with the fans there, you know, and it's under the lights. We love playing under the lights, man. There's no better feeling than that.
What's the energy like there?
It's great energy, you know. Like I said, we're in front of the fans, under the lights. It's Friday, you know, and you know, it's a fun environment.
Just the under the lights feeling, you know, it's kind of more of a showtime type of feeling compared to just being out here at St. Vincent, where the mode is just real chill. But it's going to be an exciting feeling. The fans are going to be out there, and we're going to enjoy it.
What's the best part about that practice?
Just the energy the fans know are going to bring. You know, it's going to feel like a Friday night light. You know, everybody go back to that high school moment, and that's going to be real fun and enjoy it.
No, I think it's pretty cool because, I mean, at some point, everyone's career, you remember those days about riding on the bus, going to a high school on Friday night lights, and before you could get here, you had to get through it there first. So I think that's real cool to go back to those days and memories.
Man, love the atmosphere. Really appreciate our relationship with this community. Hopefully, we entertain the fans. Most importantly, I thought we got really good work done tonight. Competition was spirited, and hopefully we got better. Some guys took a step, and hopefully that occurs every time we come out here. A few bumps and bruises along the way, not anything of any significance. Hayward Bay out there with a little bit back or neck discomfort. Bud Dupree is in the protocol. We'll see where that goes. Okafor had a minor shoulder, Sensabaugh minor back. Day-to-day like things, if it changes, I'll let you know. Getting good participation from some of those guys working their way back, some of those defensive backs that has missed a couple of days. Burnett, Artie Burns, Sean Davis were full participants today, and that's a good thing. No news on any of the other fronts from a health standpoint. Any questions?
A couple guys night off, Pouncey, Hayward, Ben.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I didn't keep count. You know, I want to see some of these young guys in this environment. We'll step into a stadium next week for a first time, and it'll be a lot of firsts for young guys that are in camp the first time. So I really wanted to get a good feel of how they responded to this environment tonight. So I was more focused on some of those guys. You get an opportunity to see some of those guys when you take the helmet off of guys like Pouncey and others, and force yourself to see some of that.
Mike, Bud's injury, did it happen in backs on backers?
No, it did not. But I don't know the extent of it to this point. It did not, though. It happened, I think, the next period after that.
You used AB3 out there a little bit with the ones. What have you thought of him in camp so far?
Just giving him an opportunity. Don't read too much into anybody you see running with somebody. You know, I've seen him run by some guys in that third group. I want to see if he can run by some guys in some other groups. But it by no means anoints him in any way, or anyone. We're just going to mix things up this time of year. I think that's the appropriate thing to do in an effort to get to know all of these guys and what they're capable of.
What has Marcus Allen showed you early on?
You know, not a lot. Like others, he ain't had a lot of opportunities. Hopefully he'll get more as we move forward.
Two more, guys. You seem pretty impressed with James in the backers on back stretch.
I just liked his demeanor. Demeanor is a lot in a drill like that where it's slanted toward the defense. I want to see him rise up against the adversity. And I thought he did that. And I thought because he went first and displayed that attitude, I thought largely his group followed.
Last one. Anyone?
The new rules about helmet, how did that go over with the team, and what's your opinion?
You know, I thought it went over well. I think we're all continuing to gather information and understanding, and I think the more that games are played, ours and others, we'll get a sense of how it's going to be officiated. Everybody understands what the rule is as it's on paper. I think we all want to know how it's going to be officiated, so obviously we can play within the rules.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bert.